Welcome to WIH TV. Let's have another episode of interesting, informative and historical events of 1947. April 2, 1947, Wednesday, Rudolf Höss, the commandant of the notorious Auschwitz concentration camp in Poland, was sentenced to death by the Supreme National Tribunal. Höss was held responsible for overseeing the horrific atrocities committed at the camp during the Holocaust. April 4, 1947, Friday, the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, was established. This international body was formed to promote safe and orderly development of international civil aviation. ICAO sets global standards and regulations for aviation safety, security, efficiency, and environmental protection. Amerigo Dumini and two other Italian fascists were sentenced to 30 years in prison for their involvement in the 1924 assassination of Giacomo Matteotti, a prominent socialist politician. Matteotti's murder had been a significant political event in Italy's history. April 7, 1947, Monday, in the United States, approximately 325,000 telephone workers initiated a widespread strike. They had a range of demands, including a wage increase of $12 per week and improved vacation and pension benefits. This strike highlighted the labor movement's efforts to secure better working conditions and fair compensation. On this day, the Ba'ath Party was founded in Syria. The party would go on to play a significant role in the country's political landscape and would later become the ruling party in Syria and Iraq. April 9, 1947, Wednesday, a devastating series of tornadoes, known as the Glazier-Higgins-Woodward tornadoes, swept through the states of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. This destructive natural disaster resulted in the tragic loss of life, with at least 181 people reported dead. The tornado outbreak left a trail of destruction in its wake, underscoring the vulnerability of these regions to severe weather events. April 10, 1947, Thursday, the British government issued a call to France and Italy, urging them to take measures to prevent Jewish refugees from using Mediterranean ports as departure points for immigration to Palestine. This request reflected the ongoing challenges of managing Jewish immigration and displaced persons in the aftermath of World War II. In a move with geopolitical implications, the United States and Britain reached an agreement to support France's claim on the Saarland region. The Saarland, an industrial area rich in coal resources, had been placed under French administration after World War II. This decision aimed to shape the post-war territorial landscape and economic dynamics in Europe. April 11, 1947, Friday, the Moscow Conference, a meeting of key Allied powers, saw a significant development as Vyacheslav Molotov, the Soviet foreign minister, refused to agree to the handover of the Saarland from Soviet control to France. This disagreement highlighted the growing divide between the Western Allies and the Soviet Union in the post-war period, foreshadowing the deepening tensions of the Cold War. Denmark conducted its Landsting election, wherein the Social Democratic Party, despite losing one seat, maintained its plurality by securing 33 out of 76 seats. This electoral outcome reflected the enduring influence of the Social Democrats in Danish politics. April 12, 1947, Saturday, during the Moscow Conference, the major Allied powers, the United States, Soviet Union, United Kingdom, and France, reached an agreement to ensure the destruction of major German warplants by June 30, 1948. This decision aimed to weaken Germany's industrial and military capabilities, as part of the broader efforts to demilitarize and rebuild the country after the war. April 13, 1947, Sunday, a significant event took place in the realm of international diplomacy, as the site for the future headquarters of the United Nations in New York City was formally dedicated. This marked a symbolic milestone in the establishment of the UN as a central institution for global cooperation and peacekeeping. April 15, 1947, Tuesday, a crucial meeting occurred between Joseph Stalin, the leader of the Soviet Union, and U.S. Secretary of State George Marshall. This 90-minute nighttime discussion took place in the Kremlin. During the meeting, Marshall expressed deep concern about the widening ideological and political gap between the United States and the Soviet Union, as evidenced by the ongoing Moscow Conference. This meeting highlighted the strains and growing tensions between the two superpowers, laying the groundwork for the Cold War era. April 16, 1947, Wednesday, Texas City disaster. The port of Texas City witnessed the deadliest industrial accident in U.S. history. A catastrophic explosion occurred on a French cargo vessel carrying approximately 2,300 tons of ammonium nitrate. This explosion triggered a series of subsequent explosions and fires, resulting in a devastating chain reaction. The disaster claimed the lives of at least 581 individuals and left over 5,000 people injured. The incident highlighted the dangers associated with industrial chemical storage and transportation. April 18, 1947, Friday, in a significant military operation, the British Navy demolished the German naval base at Heligoland using a massive 3,500 tons of explosives. This explosion, recognized as the largest non-atomic blast ever attempted by mankind, produced a mushroom cloud that was visible from afar and had a reddish tint. The destruction of the base underscored the post-war efforts to demilitarize former military installations. April 21, 1947, Monday, on her 21st birthday, Princess Elizabeth delivered a radio address from Cape Town, South Africa. In her address, she made a solemn commitment to dedicate her entire life to the service of her people and the great imperial family to which they all belonged. This address marked a significant moment in her public life and set the tone for her future role as a leader. April 23, 1947, Wednesday, the War Crimes Tribunal in Rabaul handed down a life imprisonment sentence to Japanese General Hatazo Adachi. He was held responsible for the heinous atrocities committed by his troops during World War II. This judgment highlighted the efforts to hold individuals accountable for war crimes and human rights violations. During discussions in Moscow, the Big Four powers, United States, Soviet Union, United Kingdom, and France, reached an agreement to establish a deadline of December 31, 1948, for the repatriation of nearly 2 million German prisoners of war who were still under Allied custody. This decision aimed to address the post-war humanitarian situation and facilitate the return of prisoners to their home countries. April 24, 1947, Thursday, the Big Four conference in Moscow concluded with an agreement to reconvene at a later point in the year. This conference brought together the major Allied powers to discuss various post-war issues and lay the groundwork for international cooperation. In a significant development related to the Jewish insurgency in Palestine, a bombing took place at the police barracks in Sarona. This attack, attributed to the militant group known as the Stern Gang, resulted in the deaths of 4 British policemen and injuries to 6 others. The incident highlighted the ongoing tensions in the region as various groups sought to shape the future of Palestine. April 25, 1947, Friday, Japan held general elections, a significant step in its post-war transition. The Socialist Party emerged as the largest party in the House of Representatives, winning 144 out of 466 seats. April 28, 1947, Monday, the United Nations General Assembly convened to address the complex and contentious issue of Palestine. This meeting reflected the international community's engagement with the ongoing dilemma of Palestine's future, as various parties and interests sought to find a resolution to the conflict. April 30, 1947, Wednesday, U.S. President Harry S. Truman signed legislation that changed the name of Boulder Dam to Hoover Dam. The dam was named in honor of the 31st President of the United States, Herbert Hoover. This decision marked a symbolic gesture and a tribute to Hoover's role in initiating and overseeing the construction of the dam during his tenure as president.